starting the writing task, which is called the report writing. That is same for academic training and children training. Percentage of the mark that you have, that is 66.66%. That is why it has highly or higher importance, or it has greater importance when you compare that with writing task 1. Basically, you have two choices to make. You will have your writing task in front of you, both of the tasks, writing task 1 and writing task 2 on the piece of paper. The choice is yours. You can go for the writing task 1, or you can go for your writing task 2. Okay? So we recommend that you should go for your writing task 2. And why? What is the reason? This is the reason. Okay? So what if you are not going to spend 20 minutes on your writing task 1? If you are not spending writing task 1, you are going for writing task 1 first, and you are not spending less than 20 minutes. You are spending, suppose, 25 or could be 30 minutes, unintentionally. It is not deliberately done. So it means that you will have like 30 or could be 35 minutes for your writing task 2. And it means that you are leaving less time for your writing task 2, and you are taking more time for your writing task 1. So to keep yourself on the safe side, you should start your writing task 2 first. And it doesn't mean that when I tell this to the students that you should start your writing task 2 first, they start writing, they cross this writing task 1 here, and they start writing task 2 from here. It doesn't mean that. So it means that you have to go on the other side of the answer sheet, and you should start writing task 2 on the right place. Okay? So before going to this answer sheet, we can have some basic information about it. Shouldn't spend more than 40 minutes. So one simple question: how we can improve our writing? By writing more. More you write, the better your writing skills be. The more you write, the more mistakes possibly you will make. And if your teacher points that out, it means that you can overcome that. Okay? And next time you will have less mistakes. So more tasks, the more idea you can get. Okay, when you write your first or second task, you will have not a great idea that how is my 250 words task look like, and how is my 150 words task look like. So when I see the task, apparently I can judge that how many number of words that the student has written over here. And this is just because of the experience that you can even have when you write and you count number of words. Okay, you should count number of words up to 250. That is the minimum. That's not the maximum. Word limit doesn't mean that you have to write at least or 250. If you're writing less than 250, so it means that this is the minimum. You can go for like 20, 30 words more. Some students ask that can we write 150 plus up to like 300 words in writing task 1. Some say how about writing 300 plus in writing task 2. Actually, we don't have much time. We have to take care of the time. Okay. So if you are writing too many words, it means that you will need more time. Okay. So word limit should be 250 words. Make sure you're writing your number of words. So you are counting your number of words. You can see a box down there on the answer sheet. You don't have this. You can see it from here. So you can see the number of words. There are a box here, number of words here. So they will count your number of words. Number of words could be 1, 2, 3, 4, like this. Even you can count the simple letters. If you use, you can also count these letters in number of words as well. You can say 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. And if you're writing less than 250. Suppose somebody has written about 230, and you are expecting that, okay, that's fine, I'm so close to it. It's okay, it's fine. I have written 230, and that's okay. It's not okay. They will impose a penalty on you. Okay, there's always a penalty box next to the number of words at the end of the answer sheet. So you can expect that this penalty will be imposed. How about somebody is taking some of the words from the topic? If you are short of 20 or 30 words, you are taking some of the words or from the topic, or you're taking the topic and you're repeating at the end. That will be copy paste. Okay? You're fulfilling that gap by copy pasting that. Okay? And then you think that you can get away with that. It's not like. They will notify that, they will read it out, and being the teacher, when I check the task, when I find out any of the word that is being repeated, I just point it out. Any sentences or ideas that are already repeated before, now the student is repeating them again. One more thing you have to do, that you have to use the pencil. Okay, use the pencil.
Yes.
That's the pencil. Okay, so what is the advantage of using pencil?
We can erase it.
You can
Like
erase.
that.
Writing task 2, I often say it like it's more like writing poetry. Once you write some verses of the poetry and you read them again, you find that you can improve these verses. इनको आप improve कर सकते हैं. And then how about that, taking a razor and replacing that? So we also recommend that you should write 250 plus, and then therefore you have to read them. Once you read them, you may find out any mistake that they might have done unintentionally. Okay, you can just go back and you can read it out. Sometimes it happens that you write one word here. Suppose you're writing word and you're repeating the word and again here. That was unintentionally done. So what you should do, you should purify your task. You should strain that task. You should filter them for your mistakes, the possibly you can have, because that's not your talent. What we have to do, you have to transfer the complete talent of your writing. But that was unintentionally done. So you can reread that, and you can look at the other spellings that you are not bad at writing those bad spellings. And if you are writing, so once you reread it, you can point it out and you can replace it. Okay? You can say, oh, I made a mistake. You can raise it and you can replace it. This is what you can do after rereading that, because if you're using pencil, you can do it. You can see here there is off topic. Off topic, it means that you have not written the response on the topic. The topic is suppose about music, and you have started writing more about the musical instruments and more about other things, and that could be off topic. And if the topic is related to suppose the child labor, and you are talking about something else, आप किसी और चीज़ के बारे में बात करनी start कर लिए. Sometimes students they take one example and start expanding it too much. उसको बहुत ज़्यादा expand वो कर लेते हैं. और वो it means that they're leaving the main topic and they start focusing on their example. उसी को expand करना शुरू कर देते हैं. Memorize, like you have memorized few of the phrases and you are repeating them again and again. You use it in first part, second paragraph, third paragraph. You're constantly repeating them again and again. It will show that it is some of that is memorized. Eligible, that's a important part of your writing task where it comes on reading it. The main idea to write your response on this answer sheet is so that the examiner could read it easily. Doesn't matter you're writing with your right hand, you're using the left hand, it should be clear. Some of us, we write like this, some of us, we write like, some of us like. So it shouldn't be a mixture of the styles. One word is going this way, another one is going that way. Sometimes students used to write microscopic words. This छोटे word लिखते हैं. I noted down, I guess, a few response. And there was, so you're using tiny little letters that hardly could readable. You don't have, it means the examiner should have a magnifying glass with him to read out the response. It should be clear, it should be readable. I was given a task and I've transferred it on the piece of paper that should easily readable. And you're just giving it to them. And there shouldn't be too many mistakes on that. And you're making sure you've read it once and you're making sure that you're not leaving anything like that. This thing you can have down the answer sheet. We have these small boxes. We have TR, CC, LR, GRA. So overall you have 9 bands for your task response, 9 bands for your coherence and cohesion, 9 bands for your lexical sources, and 9 bands for your grammar. And out of these 9 bands, whatever you get here, whatever you get here, whatever you get here, you get here, they get the average band for you, and they just give you. So we'll just talk on this one by one. What is a TR? What is a CC? You can also have this in with some detail down there on this lecture page. On the flip side, you can go on the flip side of this, and you see the task achievement test for writing task 1, 9 bands. How well you complete your task. Task response TR. You still have 9 bands. How well you responded to the task and answer the questions. And in writing task 2, you can have like 3 or 4 questions, or part of questions. Yeah. Like if I say there are different types of the music in the world, why do we need music? Is the traditional music of a country is more important than the international music, which is now heard everywhere? So it means that we have one topic and there are 3 or 4 question parts of that. So you don't have to leave any of this. If you are writing only on that first part, you're taking that, okay, there are different types of the music in the world today, you've written too much on that. Always have a balance between your response, like when you're writing the response for your points. You shouldn't write 120 or 130 on one point and you're writing only 20 or 30 points or the words for the next point. So task response, writing task 1, you have to stay within the topic. Doesn't matter if it's your graph writing or any of the chart that you have to assign a pie chart. So you have to write on that. You don't have to add something from your own, mean that additional information. You have more freedom in your writing task 2. You can go out from here and you can take a lot of examples. You can quote the references, the living examples, I would say, and even your knowledge as well. This use your own ideas, knowledge, and experience, and score your arguments with examples and relevant evidence. You can add too much from outside, where you can't do anything too much from outside. You don't have to include or add your knowledge, your experience and other things, but we can add in writing task 1, writing task 2. You can't do it in writing task 1. Okay, in task response, what I personally feel that you should also take care of the appearance of your task as well. You see how somebody dressed up looks better. Same as with your writing task 1 and 2. Are you dividing your response in the paragraphic form? If you are writing it, that's correct. How many of those you should have? Like 3 or 4 paragraphs you can use. Shouldn't be like that. You're using only one paragraph. You are hardly breaking your sentences. Okay? You should use 3 or 4 paragraphs. We'll just go for it. We'll have one background of that, one main body paragraph, and we have another, the second body paragraph, and we have the conclusion at the end. We just go to it. This is not the ordinary answer sheet that you're watching. This is the answer sheet can decide your future. As I've told you in listening and reading lectures, that these answer sheets can make your future. It doesn't matter that whatever you have practiced at home and you have done absolutely an awesome job over there, but if you have not written the response correctly, it means that you have done the mistake over here. So if you're leaving, if you're writing your response and you are leaving some of the lines that we do in the very simple exams in our institutions. Some students, they write in on the one line, they write one word here, one word here, one word here, they leave the next line and they just go on the other one and they try to add the number of sheets with that to impress the examiner. So even you use the 10 extra answer sheets, they will still count the number of words. Okay? It means that they are not going to give you the bands on the weightage of your piece of paper you have attached with. Okay? So they're going to count the number of words. So you can have like 5, 6, 7 words in one line, and same as. So basically this space is enough for your 150 words task like. So your 150 words usually end up here. You still have much space left there. You can start your writing task 2 from here. Don't do it that you can, sometimes students write task 2 here on this side. They give the heading of that. They come over here, they cross it, and they start their writing task 2 from here. This is the space that you can use for your writing task 2. Don't start it from there. And this space is also enough for your writing task 2. Now, this is the writing task 2. We have more area for your writing task 2. You can write easily 250 or 250 plus words on that. Okay, you have to take care of too many things over here in that task response. That could be in your grammar as well, when you're not adding or taking care of those punctuations. Okay, if you're adding the punctuations, this means a lot. Okay, so one punctuation can completely change the whole meaning. I'll just write down one example of that how horrifying it could be when you don't use a punctuation. It could have a different meaning. The CC, that's coherence and cohesion. That's how well you have organized your ideas and you have linked them together. So it means that your grammatical structure, when we talk about a simple sentence, so how you are connecting one idea with the other one. It means the flow of your task. You have an idea, you had a topic, and you have a complete start for that, and you are swiftly taking on that story or whatever you are doing. So you are taking it in one sequence. If we have lexical sources, it means that the vocabulary that you use in your response. Lexical sources. So we recommend that you should have some vocabulary words with you, bank of words with you. You should have them for your higher bands. If you are thinking about 7 or 7 plus, you should use better vocabulary. You shouldn't use the word that you are repeating again and again. If you are thinking about 6, getting 6 bands is not that difficult. You have to make sure you're writing 250 and 150 using the simple vocabulary you're writing on your response. You're not making too many mistakes. Even if you're making fewer mistakes, then you can get away with 6. And for more bands, you have to use more vocabulary for it. Yeah, the prints. I've already given you these keywords for IELTS Writing Task 2, or these lexical sources. For these lexical sources, you can have a good example from here. If you are having your opinion, you say, in my opinion, according to me, in my view, to me, from my point of view, I think, it seems to me that, I believe. So you don't have to memorize them all. You can only memorize 2 or 3 because you will need them only once or twice. एक बार आपको सवाल करना पड़ेगा. When it comes on giving the example, you mostly say, for example. That's an informal. Formally we say, for instance. Okay? And in simple spoken we say Pakistan. मिसाल के तौर पर Pakistan. We have other vocabulary here, comparing. When it comes on comparing, we can use either, or, neither, nor. Can you use neither nor? I say, neither you called nor you came. Can't use it neither only, neither, using only neither once. You're not using nor. So we have other words, for example, at the same time. So you can memorize 2 or 3 out of it, 2 or 3. Contrasting, that's also important. We mostly use but. You should replace that with however. We can have one other good phrase on the flip side. On the flip side. We use on the other end. On the other side. On the contrary, on the other hand, differ from, nevertheless, that's also used a lot. We have, if you're talking generally, can use the word overall. We also using it writing task 1 as well. The word overall. On the whole, I believe basically, I say you can use the word generally. That's fine. Overall, on the whole, that's fine. And expressing certainty. If you are expressing your certainty, if you are sure about anything, you can use certainly. This would help. That if they have asked any opinion from you, if there is a problem in the task, you should come up with the solution as well. And you can say, certainly this would help. If government is trying to eradicate the poverty from the society, and if they are taking certain steps, this would certainly help. Undoubtedly, definitely, of course, you can use certainly, undoubtedly. These words are enough. Especially partial agreement. If you're having your agreement on that, if you are confessing that's the right point, you are absolutely in the favor of that, you can then say that okay, I'm absolutely in the favor of this. But how about if you are agree to it to some extent? किसी हद तक आप हैं तो आप कह सकते हैं, you can say to some extent, किसी हद तक, up to a point, up to a limit भी हो सकता है, up to a point भी हो सकता है, not written here, in a way भी हो सकता है. Showing cause, that's due to, you can often say as a result of as well. Because, that's a simple word we often use, because that is due to of that, because of it, like this. Showing effect, therefore, that it means that something happened before and therefore it happened. As a result of it, therefore, it's like. As a result of, consequently, that's a word that I like a lot, consequently. Natijatan, consequently. We have other words, eventually. We have other words, hence, इस वजह से, okay, hence. इस वजह से, we often use it in your writing task, in writing task 2. Marking time, we have word first, second, third. If you're using the mark of the time, you can use first, then you can use firstly, or you can therefore use second, secondly, but don't stop there. You can also use, you have to use finally or lastly. If you're using firstly and you have not used the word secondly and finally and you have, okay, you should take care of this. Since you better know how we can use the since, point of the time that it doesn't repeat itself. We say since 1920. Okay, then we can use. We can say, we can't say that for 1920. No, it should be since. Adding information, you have already written some of the points, and you want to add some more in that. You can use the word. You can use the phrase in addition over there. In addition to this, you can also say furthermore. These are the words that you can have in the form of extra vocabulary or extra words you can add in your response. You can simply say, you can simply write the point on that. But if you're using in addition to this, and then you're writing your point down, that's much better. Expressing condition, sure, condition. If in spoken we say what if, here we say if, provided that, that's now condition. Shart hai isme. And in conclusion, you can use the words to summarize, in conclusion, to conclude. We have other words, lastly, if you're using this firstly, secondly, thirdly, and you can then use lastly over here.
Finally.
To conclude with, in short, and to infer, you can also use, and therefore you can use the comma. Make sure you're using your punctuations. Punctuations as Mr. And I'm repeating it again that you don't have to use them all. You can use one, two from each of the box. So we have some informal and formal words here. You see the list of informal words here, and we have for some formal words. So you can use this, the informal side for your speaking test, and you can utilize this for your written English, because the written English is completely different from the one that we're using in the spoken English. If you are coming up with a word, okay, I'll contact, okay, I'll pay for it, but you can't write in your response. Okay, this is acceptable price. Acceptable price, it means that the word acceptable is replacing the word okay. We have other abbreviations. Sometimes we use so NGOs. You have to write non-governmental organizations. Okay, you don't have to write these abbreviations down. There are a lot of informal words that you can compare. You might be using this. Yesterday I was checking one of the tasks and I used some spoken English in that. So you can replace this spoken English with the formal English. So we'll have some more vocabulary on that. I'll just write it down for you some other day. Next one is GRA. GRA is grammar. If your spellings are not correct and you're making one mistake at the start and you're getting the spelling wrong, it means that you may have that mistake again and again. And sometimes students they take one word from the task and then they have to repeat it in their response, and they write it like 6 to 7 times in that, and they get it wrong in terms of the spelling. So that will not be considered one mistake. Okay? So when you start your task, we always recommend that you should leave 4 to 5 minutes before and after. Like you can divide this time, like you can have like 2 or 3 minutes before your task, you have now writing task 1 and 2 in front of you. So now you can first of all evaluate yourself that where I am standing, whether I have understood the topic, and then therefore you can start the response. One of our students, he went for the exam, and he just came out from the, after giving his writing task and the other 2 or 3 tests, he said that I made a mistake, that I didn't understand and couldn't understand the topic on that day. So when I came out, I realized that I got the wrong meaning of that topic. It means that if you're having, you're not getting the right idea of it. So the whole of your response that you're writing for 250 words will go in vain. Okay, so that's very important. That you have to understand. So understanding the question is important in all these 4 skills. Even if you are in the listening, reading, writing, and speaking, in all these 4 tests, you should understand the question. If I'm asking the question and you have not understood in you speaking, that there is no way you can give the answer of that. Writing task 1 or 2, you have not understood the topic, you have started your response, and it means that the response you will write, that will not be correct. Even for your reading, if you have read a question that you not understood, you went for its skimming or for in search of that answer, so you will not get it. Same as for the listening case. And if you have not understood the listening question, so this is for all these 4 skills. We have to understand this. And I say that you should stay like 2 minutes for the planning. That's really important. How many examples I have? Can I have the paraphrasing for it? Can I paraphrase the task? So can I paraphrase? Yes, I can. Then you can go for it. When we say that you should go for the paraphrasing, students think that we have to go for the paraphrasing. Even I just can't paraphrase this. If you go for paraphrasing and you just can't do it, it means that your paraphrasing will have a different meaning. Okay? And then therefore you can leave 2 or 3 minutes at the end, 2 or 3 minutes before, and 2 or 3 minutes at the end of your task to reread your task, to make sure that you have not made too many mistakes. You have not made those punctuation mistakes or other mistakes. You can at least read it once. Okay, that's really important. That there are a lot of students that even they've got away with 6.5 and 7 bands, but still they were making a lot of mistakes. Okay, that's not your capacity that you are making mistake, but unintentionally you have done it. You're rereading it, that will come on your radar, and you will check it out, you will erase it, and you will replace it. So grammar has a role to play when it comes on those phrases or the short sentences and the sentences. If you're writing a sentence, it should have a meaning. What I mean to say, if you're writing a sentence and that is having a different meaning. If I ask you, what do you mean? You say, sir, actually I mean this. I wanted to write this point, but it doesn't mean what you have written on that piece of paper. Okay, it is having a different meaning. So what we were thinking about that point, it is not reflected in your writing. It should be reflected in your writing, whatever you are thinking, whatever your points are.